What up, though, Detroit Lions fans? Woodward Lions post-game show. Preseason game number 2 is just now in the books. My name is Anson Wells. I'm joined here by KG. You guys just witnessed something that we've never seen in the NFL before. We have been in situations like this. We've talked about how games should be ended in the midst of tragedy. The NFL was not going to step up and do it, so Dan Campbell did. And KG, I'm going to tell you right now, you don't have to be a Detroit Lions fan. But if you were not a Dan Campbell fan before this game, you absolutely are right now.
No, absolutely. And you want to give some credit to the Atlanta Falcons staff as well. They were totally on board with it, but I just think that's disgusting about the NFL. It's a preseason football game. No doubt. Like, we're not talking about regular season playoffs. This is not a ratings draw. This is a preseason football game, and you just incurred a very, very serious injury to Maurice Norris. Prayers up to him. You hope that it isn't as serious as it looked out there and that he can be okay. But I just think that's disgusting to not stop the game. Like, yeah. Well, people's lives are way more important than another fucking quarter of football.
No doubt about it. And you know, obviously the NFL has a lot of bills to pay all over the place between, you know, commercials and sponsors and concessions and all of that.
Right.
You're right. They are good for it. I don't think that this is a template for what will happen in future games. Obviously, with a regular season game or anything else, there's a lot more on the line.
Yeah.
But I think that this is a moment in sports that everyone will remember. And we've joked all week long about how, it's preseason, I don't care. Mm-hmm. You know, we're nitpicking at backup quarterbacks. We're talking about guys that probably aren't going to be on this team. But something happened. Something historic happened in preseason game 2. Detroit Lions, Atlanta Falcons, and what it was is, in a sport of gladiators, the most brutal sport that we have here in America, a moment of humanity stopped the game.
Yeah, and we almost take it for granted. Like, you know, we see these guys, they suit up every single week and they go out there and they perform, man. But this game is something different, man. The football is no joke. It's, you know, every time you strap up between those lines, you are risking stuff of this nature, man. And once again, just prayers up to Maurice Norris. Somebody that was a valued player on this Lions team. He was a key reserve for the Lions, you know, even dating back to last season.
First line reserve.
And you never want to see that, especially in a preseason contest, man. This is just supposed to be, you know, a dress rehearsal of sorts. You're just supposed to be going out there, you know, just trying to get the fundamentals down, make sure that, you know, things are being ran correctly. But you never want to see this in any form of play. But it's just very unfortunate that it happened in preseason play.
Yeah, nightmare in Michigan, reminiscent of Mike Utley, he says in the chat. We were just talking about Mike Utley yesterday. We were talking about Reggie Brown yesterday. Yeah. This is what looks to be a spinal cord injury, the third of such nature for a Detroit Lion. Obviously, this is a preseason game. Maurice Norris is not a guy whose name we talk about a lot, but at the end of the day, this is a Detroit Lion. This is an NFL player. This is a young man whose career and livelihood are now on the line, and we don't want to stick on this too much. We got a lot to go over, a lot to talk about, and we want to pick the energy up. But our thoughts and prayers are with the Detroit Lions, Mo Norris, and his family tonight.
Absolutely.
Well, let's try and turn things around here. I heard a quote from Mr. Kentucky Green, and it was, "The white boys are taking over. This town is going to shit."
Oh my God!
So listen,
they called me her.
Yeah, no doubt. You know what? Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate you guys joining us.
Yes, please.
We dialed this thing up a little bit quicker than normal. Obviously, considering the ending of the game, the way that the two teams decided to end it in prayer and honoring Mo Norris, but we all wanted to see something, KG. We all wanted to see the same thing. We like Tesla. We're curious about Hassanine, but we all wanted to see the hooker Kyle Allen battle, and it really seemed like there was a clear winner in this game tonight.
No, absolutely. Like, we all knew the biggest storyline, I guess you can call it that, of this preseason was the battle between Hendon Hooker and Kyle Allen. And, you know, I felt like Hendon Hooker did not play bad in this game. Yes, he did have a drive that ended in a turnover. I think that was more so the right tackle that just got blown up on that play. But if you look at what he did, I mean, he was able to get the offense down the field, converted a 4th down. They were in the red zone, looked like they were primed to score. They did take him out a little early, and I was a little, you know.
Would have liked to see him in the whole half.
Exactly. I thought that's what, you know, that seemed to be the formula for the last game. So, kind of a curious move. They put Kyle Allen in a little bit early, and they did put the camera on Hooker like after that drive was over and they showed him on the sideline. He did not look the happiest. So maybe there was some fundamental things that he didn't do right, and that could have caused him being pulled early from this game. But Kyle Allen, man, you got to give him credit. The very next drive, see you, Spenny, appreciate it. Very next drive, he's able to get down the field in 4 plays and score a touchdown. The jump ball to Isaac Tesla, man, the new hotness going around in town. You really like how he performed, but Kyle Allen, man, yeah, he proved it to you tonight, man, and that, especially in that second half, he was able to get another touchdown pass as well. And I think at this point, it's pretty, at least visually set in stone for me, that it looks like this is Kyle Allen's, you know, number 2 job to lose at this point.
It certainly does. And everybody in the chat chiming in, we appreciate you guys once again. Please smash that like button. If you guys do want to super chat something in, we'll skip you to the front of the line and make sure that we do read it. You know, Kyle Allen, I'm watching this game early on. I'm driving in, listening to it. Then I'm watching it, you know, the end of Hooker's run in the first half. And I'm like, the offensive line looks like trash. And they did.
Yeah.
He was running early. You know, he got hit quite a few times. But then Kyle Allen comes in with the same line or a lesser line and just starts taking chances and completing them down the field, leads us to an easy touchdown. You know, like you said, at this point, it seems like it's his job to lose. I'm with the chat, though. Neither of them looked particularly inspiring through either game. Kyle Allen obviously looked a lot better today.
Yeah.
I don't know. He looked fleet of foot. I mean, we were laughing. The guy had 2 big scrambles. He evaded, spun out of a sack. Maybe this kid's got a little more than we realized. And at this point, you know, Hendon Hooker's got 2 games to save his Honolulu Blue jersey. Otherwise, who knows? I mean, do they cut him? It's awful early. I mean, it's not that early, but it seems like a little early to cut a 3rd-round pick.
It does, but you are coming to a situation where you're going to have to make a decision on him soon. And I don't know if the Lions want to carry 3 quarterbacks going into the season. I would love to keep him on the team because, I mean, you can never have enough ammunition. But it just, through his play so far, and once again, I felt like he played better today. Absolutely. He was able to lead a drive. He looked confident at points, but there was still some things in there where you just wonder, like, I don't know. But Kyle Allen, once again, and it wasn't just, you know, he got the touchdowns. It was the type of throws he was making. Like, that deep shot was a good ball. Like, it was a good ball placement between the safety and the corner. You just really like some of the things that you saw out of him tonight. And once again, you said, you know, he was able to actually move out of the pocket a little bit, not calling him mobile by any means, but he was able to scramble, get out of trouble.
Sure.
These are things that you want to see, man. And Kyle Allen being an experienced NFL quarterback in this league, I think that does give him the edge because let's say Goff were to go down, you would prefer to have the experience of a Kyle Allen. And even Brad Holmes has talked about, you know, why they brought in Teddy Bridgewater last year during that playoff run. He emphasized that it was more of an experience factor as to why they didn't want to put him in those situations. So I think he really stood out tonight. And yes, maybe Hendon Hooker has more time, but you got to look at what he did tonight and you know, you kind of – because I assume maybe in that 3rd game you get a dress rehearsal of sorts from your starters. So I don't really know how many more opportunities he's going to have at this point because the first 2 games are really for figuring out who your personnel is going to be. The last 2 is more so for tightening things up and, you know, kind of knowing who you're rolling into the season with.
Just to calm the chat down, I don't think by any means that Hooker was good tonight. I don't think he looked
I thought he looked
by
better.
any means.
I thought he looked better.
Better, which is not saying a lot. Both of the strip sacks were situations that his offensive line put him into, but those are going to happen in game situations, even with the starting offensive line out there, and you just can't turn the rock over. It's one thing to not be able to move the offense, but it's another to be turning the ball over. I think about Kyle Allen. I'm not sure how coveted he is around the league. I think that there's still some intrigue, and I know that Stick thinks I'm crazy, but I think that there is some intrigue with some GMs and some coaches in the league when it comes to a Hendon Hooker.
Maybe.
So to me, if Hendon's given an opportunity in Game 3, let's say we do see Jared Goff for a series. If they give him the opportunity with a better cast and he does look better, there's something inside of me that tells me this Lions brass is going to want to keep him around, because I think they'll have an easier time sneaking Kyle Allen onto the practice squad after exposing him to waivers than somebody like Hendon Hooker. I could be crazy, and I know that a lot of Lions fans are still a little delusional when it comes to Hendon.
Yeah.
But it does seem to me like there's a lot of Kyle Allens that are floating around the league every offseason, and Hendon Hooker is still somewhat young. Shout out to James Koskidis.
Shout out.
10 Woodward Sports gift memberships. I don't want to talk about the quarterbacks too long.
No.
Honestly, it's a rough one. I do have a couple questions, though.
Okay.
Kyle Allen or Josh Allen?
Come on.
Kyle Allen or Jared Goff?
Hey, man, he might be the future. He might take over when Goff's contract is up.
Kyle Allen or Tarek Skubal?
Neither.
Shout out Tom Mazaway. Hey, chat, let us know what's happening with the Tigers. I know that we were 1 out away from winning. Love to hear from you guys. See if they put up a W. And I know that they saved Tarek from a loss. He was lined up for that.
Yeah.
Getting back into this game, though, all the fun stuff about Kyle Allen's side. Rock Ya-Sin, this is a guy that looked really good last week as a corner. Tonight he was playing safety, and I'll tell you the timeliness of that is sadly timely. I don't think that's a word, but the fact that we lose Mo Norris, we might be seeing Rock Ya-Sin as that next level safety, because this is a guy that was kind of floating on that third level. Mo Norris, a direct backup at safety. I think Rock Ya-Sin makes his team, and he might actually, at least in the first half of the season, while this team gets healthy, could see a lot of playing time.
Well, I had no doubts about him making the team. I think just based on his experience, and when you look at him on the field, his ability to tackle, I feel like will be really valuable for this defense. But like you said, that safety depth is definitely, I wouldn't say a question mark, but it is something that you look at. Okay, you have great starters, but
great starters.
Who is really coming behind that?
Sure.
So if you can get somebody like a Rock Ya-Sin to go out there and play safety successfully, I think that's an added bonus for this Detroit Lions team. But absolutely, he will be in the fold, coming up for this defense, and I'm excited, man. He looks like a good addition, and I like some of the plays he's making in preseason right now. Like I said, in terms of tackling, he's been one of the best tacklers on this defense.
Bam Bam 2273 with a $5 super chat. The fact Dan's trust even player patience is strong. Not sure exactly what you're saying there yet. He still made the decision to pull him early. Maybe coaching is turning up heat intentionally. That's interesting, because you had mentioned you thought maybe there was some procedural mishaps.
Yeah.
And that they weren't happy with his execution. Obviously, they weren't happy with the 2 fumbles, but you said it right when they pulled him out. And we all thought that he was going to get that full first half the way that Kyle did last week. But at the same point, to Bam Bam's point here, they needed to clean up their play, which week 1, a Hall of Fame game, they didn't look good.
Yeah.
And that's not a big deal. They're playing earlier than everybody else. This game, they cut out a lot of the trash. There was some early penalties, but mostly it was a smooth and clean game. But that move early is a head scratcher, because now it's, you're wondering, why do you want to see Kyle Allen in this 4-minute drill and not Hendon Hooker.
Right.
You're not giving him this opportunity to do that. I got to say, Bam Bam and you guys, I think you're both onto something.
Yeah, and the body language says a lot. Like I said, they put the camera on him as soon as he was pulled off the field, and you can just tell he kind of looked dejected, like he did something wrong. And, maybe we're reading a little bit too much into it, but it's got to be a reasoning behind that, because like I said last week, Kyle Allen did get the whole half. We all assumed that's what Hendon was going to get in this one, and that's kind of a crucial time to take somebody out if you're giving them the whole half, is during the 2 to 4 minute drill. You definitely want to see what he might have been able to do during that time, but it's got to be something, and you just wonder what it is, and maybe we'll never find out, but there's a reasoning for that.
We'll find out if he's not on this team in 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's for sure.
That's the big indicator.
I saw another one in here.
Shout out the Packer fans in the chat.
T. Twirt, Dan was done with the sloppy play. Leaders lead. I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah.
Tev Sauce with the super chat. Our defense looks legit. Secondary is looking good. They made plays today. There was a sense of urgency you didn't see in week one. You and I talked today. It was one of the questions we had. What was going to happen first? Isaac Tesla's touchdown or Hassanein's first sack? We saw Hassanein get to the quarterback. Well, I think twice, maybe both half sacks.
Yeah,
they get home twice.
I think a half TFL, but yeah.
Yeah, and then shortly thereafter that, we saw Tesla get that touchdown. But the defense, to me, played a lot better today. We saw Tyreek early on disrupting.
Yeah.
That's what we've talked about. This guy just steady lives in the backfield. And if you can see that kind of production, even in a preseason game, from your rookie, you got to be excited.
No, absolutely. I felt like Tyreek looked really good in there. He was doing a great job at plugging the running lanes when he was out there. And you have confidence in this kid. And I don't think his job is going to be hard to start the year. The main thing they're going to have him do is, of course, plug gaps for the run, because the Lions pride themselves on stopping the run. But you do want to see him develop as a pass rusher as well, because if you can get that inside pressure, that interior pressure on quarterbacks, I feel like that'll make a world of difference. And maybe that's something he needs to develop over time. But overall, for his first snaps of live play, you had to be impressed with what you saw. So I was really happy about that. And a lot of guys on this defense, I know we're going to get into it, but Ahmad Hassanein, we saw him flash a little bit more today. That is something I absolutely wanted to see. I felt like Grant Stewart really showed himself to be maybe valuable linebacker depth for this team.
He had a couple of great plays early on in the game.
Yeah, no, I really like how some of this depth is coming together for the Lions, and we know that's a big key, because the injuries last year, and although I don't think we'll go through quite the same injury luck that we had last year, it is good to know that you got guys that are ready at the go, and you want to see it in games like this.
The injuries do seem to be somewhat stacking up, but nearly 900 people in the chat.
Shout out,
if you're just joining us, the Falcons and Lions game ended in a manner that we've never seen an NFL game end before, after a very serious injury, what looked to be a spinal cord injury. Safety and Detroit Lion Maurice Norris was carted off the field. The Lions and Falcons basically refusing to finish the game in combat or in play.
I love that.
Instead, they just went 4 and out while praying at midfield. A true class act from both the Lions and the Falcons. And truly a moment that I think that anybody that was watching will always remember. And I think that it's also something that is going to dominate the NFL headlines through the weekend. But again, hats off to both teams for doing the right thing, and our best wishes and Godspeed to the family of Maurice Norris. But
maybe it's even longer term effects from this too,
well,
because the NFL may want to, expand things, and I think that this should definitely be a conversation piece when the NFLPA links up with the league.
Yeah, and we've seen moments like this, whether it's on the extreme side of the malice at the palace, them considering putting nets up, to obviously the changes we've seen in NFL with CTE recently. But this is a sport, and as Lions fans, it's hit home more than once. Mike Utley, Reggie Brown, now Maurice Norris. This could be something that impacts games going forward. maybe it's a delay practice, or not a practice of delaying games. I'm not really sure what they can do in a regular season game, but we definitely saw a first for really any of the major sports.
Yeah, this was something different. I know I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. And once again, just prayers up to Maurice Norris. You hope that he's able to recover from this and it's not as serious as it appeared on the field. But going forward, I mean, they need to figure something out because a lot of people feel like the preseason is useless at this point. A lot of people don't play their starters, in terms of other franchises around the league. And I brought this up earlier. They do make up or compensate for this with joint practices. You saw the growth of joint practices over the last couple years of, just two franchises linking up and just having private practices and putting their best players against their best players and doing it that way. So I don't know if that's the future. I don't know if that's something that they might, want to utilize more going forward, but I do think something needs to be said about, what state is the NFL preseason in, because at one point it was kind of like a given, and you would have your starters go. It would be more value, but now you're at a point where it seems like it's only a ploy to sell tickets.
Yeah, if there's ever been a catalyst for change, we all just watched it.
Yeah.
We all just watched it. But, yeah, please smash that chat. We're up to 950. Share
Appreciate
the stream
y'all,
with
man.
your friends, man. I want to really open it up. We're hanging a little bit of a tough energy around right now. Obviously, everybody's a little worried. I'm sure everybody in the team is very worried, including Mo's family. But let's try and turn this thing around. We're gonna open it up. Super chat, you'll jump to the head of the line, but write something good. We'll read it. Obviously, there's not a whole lot to talk about in terms of this game. We covered Rock Ya-Sin. We covered the quarterback situation. Isaac Tesla continues to look like an absolute steal as a later round pick.
I think we can stop there at least for a second.
Okay, let's talk about your boy.
Yeah. Well,
obviously Cybertron now.
No, Easy came up with that name. Okay. Shout out to Easy. I got to give him his credit. But
I heard Bumblebee. I'm not sure we're there yet.
Yeah, I mean, I heard coleslaw was approved by the person, but I don't know about that one, man. That one's a little to me. But overall, this kid popped off the page yet again, and a lot of people are making conversation. Me and Spinny and Easy talked about it on the heavyweights. Is there really a chance that, if Tim Patrick continues to struggle for whatever reason or the other, that we might see Isaac Tesla week 1?
Tesla bot being sold by none other than your buddy Elon Musk.
Tesla bot
is known as the Optimus. The Optimus. And he is white.
Optimus Tesla? Like, what are we?
Optimus Tesla.
I guess.
It's going to happen. Somebody's going to dig
Y'all keep trying to give him this nickname, and I think he needs to earn it in the regular season, but, hey, I'm not mad at y'all. The
white boys are taking over.
This town's going to
quote,
shit,
unquote,
man.
Straight from Kentucky Green right here. Let's take a peek at the chat real quick here. I'd love to hear what they want to talk about.
No updates on Morris for anybody that's asking. We don't have any more information on that. If we do get it before the show's over, we'll definitely relay it.
Yeah. Dan Campbell live now talking about it. Let us know what he has to say about it. Vanillatron.
Yep.
I like that one.
Vanillatron. Oh, man.
The cold slaw, you know what? Dangerous if you leave it open.
No, absolutely.
I like that.
And it has to be made correctly.
So, let's get into fucking coleslaw for a minute.
Might as well.
What the fuck is that? What is coleslaw?
It's like, I think, sauerkraut and some other.
I mean,
I really don't know the ingredients to coleslaw, to be honest with you.
It's like a shredded salad.
It's carrots in there.
And watery mayo.
Yeah, but when you say it like that, I mean.
It's what it is.
I understand.
It's really bad.
I've had really good coleslaw in my life.
Yeah, but it was at your auntie's house, bro.
Yeah, of course.
It wasn't in a restaurant.
I mean, I've had good restaurant coleslaw, too. It just depends where you go.
Yeah, you got to take me to one of those
You getting your coleslaw in Harrison Township, my guy. Like, you got to come down.
Bro.
You got to come down a little further.
These two black grandmas that run the KFC on 8 Mile and Livernois.
Oh, yeah. Shout out.
I'm going to tell you, all the
KFC.
fast food up and down 8 Mile is trash. But that KFC, these two women put so much love into that KFC, I actually eat that coleslaw.
But the fact that you're bringing up KFC coleslaw means you ain't had good coleslaw.
Oh, no. I know. I'm saying,
I'm
like,
just
I
saying.
think that their coleslaw is probably lowest on the chain.
Yeah.
But I don't know what these two women are putting in there, man.
Oh, they
It's
probably
pretty
putting
damn
their
good.
foot in it, man.
Yeah, it is.
Shout
and
out.
you know what? Shout out to Buddies crushing it.
Oh, man.
Kept us fed throughout the watch party. But the brisket pizza, are you fucking
Confirmed.
kidding me?
It's good as hell. Confirmed. Like, but we already knew that. Buddies don't disappoint,
Yeah.
but that's something different from Buddies. I love the jalapeno topping on it, too. Oh, my God. For anybody that's wondering, hey, take the leap. That barbecue brisket pizza is the real deal.
What was the I don't even need to go there with the Buddies. Let's get back to the game here. We're talking coleslaw. 2 57-yard field goals today. One for our guy.
Yes, sir. Mr. Bates,
I
man.
like
Hey,
seeing him take some shots in the preseason
yeah.
and connect.
I think this is a good sign, and a lot of people have been telling me that, you know, this might be the year of conservative Dan Campbell. I think that's yet to be seen, but you can speak to it when you have a kicker that can hit that deep, man. I mean, Jake Bates just continues to show you that his long game is very much in play, and for offense that's this dangerous already, you got to think that's just another weapon in the bag of a Dan Campbell and now a Johnny Morton, knowing that once you get past the 50, it's damn near fair game.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to the conversation that we had on Big Dildo Energy today.
Clip the dose, man. Shout out. Oh, man.
I already forgot what I was saying. Mama made all the fixins. One pride. Freddie felt with the super chat there. I got Doughboy Steve. KFC, I eat the slaw first. A psychopath.
I know, right? You can't start with the slaw. That's a little tricky.
If you guys are hearing all that roaring going past that, we are on Woodward here. Woodward Sports, Lions postgame. Number 2, preseason game number 2 in the books. Ended very differently than we've ever seen a game before. Both teams at prayer at midfield after Mo Norris went down. What you're hearing outside, though, is the precursor to the Woodward Cruise. They start earlier and earlier every year. It's Friday. It's not till next weekend, and they are already going at it. But catch up with that chat. I got a couple of last things to talk about. Zach Cunningham made some plays early on. They took him out of the game. Looks like he's going to be part of that linebacker room. A guy, I want to say he was with the Texans for a while, and when he was given the opportunity, racked up tackle numbers.
No, absolutely. I think you're forgetting somebody too, but we'll see once we get done with this. But no, Zach Cunningham, yet again, he's out there making plays. I thought it was a really good showing from him. But as far as linebackers go, I just don't know what that depth looks like. I would love to see him make the team, but I know spots are very, very limited. But I think he could be a practice squad guy.
I think
easy.
with Rodrigo out as long as he is, he probably ends up making this team if he continues his play in the preseason the way he did today.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that you were talking about Jackson Clarence Beeks Meeks.
No, I was not.
You were not.
actually.
Okay,
no.
so
You're forgetting a big one, actually.
Okay, well, Jackson Meeks looked real good today.
Yeah.
We talked about Lovett being a guy that I at least felt was maybe the 6th wide receiver on this team, somebody that makes the 53. Jackson Meeks threw his hat in the ring.
And I think he just got hurt at a bad time. This is still the evaluation process for the Lions, so you wanted to see him more because he was making plays in that first game. But when the opportunity presents itself, you got to take advantage of it. And shout out to Meeks, man. He went out there and played a damn good game, I thought. And is he the cousin of Zadarius Smith? Is that the guy?
Which guy?
That we were talking about, Meeks, is he the one that's related to Zadarius Smith? Because a lot of people think that, that could be the key to getting him signed and back to the Lions.
Let's see what we got going here. He is Zadarius Smith's nephew.
Shout out. So does this bring Zadarius Smith home? I think is the bigger question.
Lions signed undrafted free agent wide receiver Jackson Meeks, who is the nephew of Zadarius Smith, to a deal worth $200,000 guaranteed. 6'2", 213 receiver. Last year at Cuse as an Orangeman, he had 78 catches for over 1,000 yards, catching 7 touchdowns after transferring from Georgia. So he's got some SEC play under his belt.
Yeah.
He looked good today. Obviously, Kyle Allen liked looking his way, made 2 big catches. So I don't know if we're going to carry 6 wide receivers, but it looks like we got a nice choice between that 6th one if it were to happen.
No, absolutely, but I highly doubt it. I think these spots are pretty much sewn up, especially seeing Isaac Tesla go out there and cut up. You know they still value Khalif Raymond on this team, so those would be the last 2 spots up for grabs, because as much as y'all want to throw Tim Patrick away, he's still going to be on this team, ladies and gentlemen. But going forward, I think he might be good on the practice squad. But it's all about what they value. You know, have you seen enough from Lovett, you know, to justify him getting the practice squad opportunity? Or, you know, if he's able to come back and play in these last 2 preseason games, do you allow him the chance to make an impression on you? Yeah. But I think Meeks, you know, for being given the opportunity, he did a damn good job tonight.
Jackson, Skrillex, Windex, Kleenex, Connects, Meats.
Hell, is that somebody's name in the chat?
There's a lot of love for Meeks right now. So I'm stumped. Who you want to talk about?
Come on, man. Who have we been talking about for all off season since the draft?
Tyreek we talked about.
Yeah, go to the next round.
Oh, the beautiful scumbag.
Yes,
looks really good.
No, we got to see.
Talking about Tate Ratledge.
We got to see Big 6'9", and I ain't talking about that color hair, motherfucker. We are talking about the real deal. My boy Tate Ratledge, man, and he looked damn good out there. There was a lot of times where they had him chipping, but whenever a defensive lineman was lined up over him, he just seemed to really control his matchup, and that's what you wanted to see. I thought he looked really good. Run blocking, his pass blocking didn't look bad either. He was out there mauling, man, and that's what you want to see from your big guy that you're bringing in to play guard and, you know, maybe even center down the line. But he had a really good showing tonight.
Beautiful scumbag.
Yes,
I know that might be a lot. They're all saying I should call him a dirtbag, but I want a true scumbag center.
And I think he fits that role, man. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do, you know, with the first unit when he's getting actual NFL reps, because we know he's listed as a starter for this team going forward. I think he's suited for the moment, man. And I think he just reinforced my belief that this offensive line, while there may be an adjustment period, I just really don't feel like we're going to take that much of a setback when you look at all that surrounding these young guys, and on top of the fact that you still have Hank Fraley, one of the best offensive line coaches in the game. They're going to be okay.
Well, and you know, when he has that help around him, it should lift his game. But as T. Tword points out, he's got some loose ends to tighten up before veterans bring it his direction. Second time I'm reading T. Tword here. Keep bringing it, brother. A lot of people keep coming back to Tesla. You and I got into it today.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't say got into it. Friendly debate.
Okay, friendly debate.
Friendly debate.
But you guys are going to hold both of us accountable, because there will be receipts, and at some point, I said week 9, but I think it's week 9 to 12. If it hasn't happened by then, I'm wrong. But I truly believe that Tesla will be the number 3 wide receiver on this team by 9, 10, 11, 12.
Week 9 in 2026?
Yeah,
no. Okay.
Did he do anything today to make you think that I might be right?
I mean, to be honest with you, yes.
Yeah,
because I mean,
say that.
It's just hard to deny the ability. When Kyle Allen threw that jump ball up in the end zone and he just leaped up and grabbed it over the defender, I think that showed you, you know, a lot of the people that was having that jump ball argument about Tesla. I think he's putting that to rest pretty quickly. We do need to see him do it on a more consistent basis, but you got to give the kid credit. I mean, he has all the tools to really succeed, even in his first year as a Lion, man. You just love the speed. His route running ability seems pretty good for where he's at right now. Great hands, and he's not afraid to get physical, and that's what you want to see in your 6'4" receiver. I think he brings a lot to the table, and the Lions do need to consider, and I think they already are, but you do need to consider at this point, is there ways that we can work this guy, going into the season? Can we work him into the offense? Because you got to have all hands on deck. If you got people that can, you put the ball in their hands and they're going to help you in ball games, then you have to consider that. So I think the Lions are taking a hard look at Tesla right now and trying to, maybe see some ways that they can fit him in. But I just do not see him taking Tim Patrick's spot, especially to start the year. Maybe, during the year we can have a conversation, but I don't see it. I really don't. I think Tim Patrick's going to be the wide receiver 3 until further notice, which will be next year.
Okay. I think you're going to see it, my friend.
I don't mind being proven wrong.
And, we always have to take a grain of salt with preseason. But after this kid was drafted, it seemed like a reach. Then we got to know him. We got to see the interviews. We got to see the homemade, Lions jersey that he wore to his interview with Detroit, and he started to grow on us, but we haven't heard one bad thing. We haven't heard one, his practice was kind of down today. We keep hearing that this guy keeps making plays in practice, and now 2 straight weeks he's been making plays on the field. It really seems like these guys have hit again with a late-round receiver.
Yeah.
This guy really seems that not only does he bring the talent and the measurables, but he assimilated immediately into this BNL culture that Dan and Brad have here. I just don't know, man. I like Tim Patrick. I like him because he's a Lion. I like him because we've seen him make some decently big plays, more so in blocking and doing the gritty stuff. But I just don't see anything that he does that Tesla can't do. And I see things that Tesla does better than Tim Patrick maybe did prior to both of his injuries.
Yeah.
The injuries certainly sapped some of his explosive ability, his athletic ability, his speed. And at this point right now, it'd be one thing if Tesla was just a big body that ran a 4.54. This is a sub 4.4 guy. Speed kills in the NFL. And if this guy's going to continue to block, and we're not hearing about him making mistakes at practice, and he continues to produce on the field, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be buying me some Buddy's Pizza week 9. Bro.
Hey, maybe I will. And I wouldn't be, mad about being wrong about this, because if the kid's got it, then he's got it. And one thing we know about this team, they will give you the opportunity to earn your spot. If you are, doing all the things you're supposed to be doing and you're making the plays in camp, then best believe that the Lions are going to take a hard look at this and make a decision. But I'm just not in the camp of taking Tim Patrick off of the field to put Isaac Tesla on. I feel like there is ways that you can work both of them in this season, and I think you will see that because, of course, I think Tesla is the maybe direct backup to a Tim Patrick. And I don't know what that says for Khalif Raymond going forward. I think that's the real question. Is Khalif Raymond, is his touches going to get affected by what Tesla is doing? But overall, I think there's ways you can work both of those guys in. You're going to see them both on the field, maybe both in red zone situations. But Goff already has the familiarity with a Tim Patrick. Goff is somebody that we know maybe takes time to get chemistry with his receivers. So I wouldn't be surprised if they bring Tesla along slow, although they know that he has all the ability in the world. So,
well, you're saying that. But he only targeted him 44 times last year. So I don't know if the rapport is really there that much. I get what you're saying. I'm seeing so much ability with this kid. I'm not going to even try and say your name here, but Shashank Sharbramiam,
something
1400.
Like that.
Tesla's camp is eerily similar to Laporta's rookie camp. And, man, he hit the nail on the head. No derogatory marks, no bad marks or comments or, he wasn't on today, nothing like that.
Yeah.
He's assimilating into the culture immediately. He's making plays on the field. And this isn't some, again, 6 foot, 190 receiver. This is a massive body that runs sub 4.4. It's doing all the right things, but jury's out. We're gonna have quite a few months here to be able to see whether it happens, but I'm looking forward to revisiting this pretty much every post game.
No, absolutely. Do you think at this point I wouldn't even play Tesla anymore? To be honest with you, I think we've seen all we need to see. Do you think we see him again?
I think from a procedural standpoint, where you want to make sure that he knows the places to be, the blocks to be on, the coverages, the schemes, the different routes that he's going to be running based on what the defense is doing. I think you want to keep him around for that. I think that you'll probably keep him around for Hendon's next go-around.
Okay.
So, but I think you are right in the fact that we won't see him in Game 4 at all.
Oh, yeah, it's wraps Game 4
and
for
where
sure.
he played a large portion of that first half, I don't see him playing past the first quarter at this point.
Yeah, we've seen what we need to see from him.
Yeah,
but it looks like, once again, like you said, another hit for Brad Holmes in that receiver room. He don't play about them receivers. He don't.
They just don't play when it comes to draft picks, period.
Yeah.
Again, if you guys haven't heard me say it ad nauseum, every single pick, every draft pick, not UDFA, every draft pick that this regime has made the 53-man roster.
And when you have somebody that can draft like that, when does your window really end?
It doesn't. And that's why I said window for this team is an SOL mindset.
Yeah.
Because their plan, what they did when they first sat down and said, Chris Spielman, we want you in charge. Go find us a coach. Go find us a GM. They said, we want to be great. We want to be at the top of this division, challenging to win it, if not winning it every year for the next decade. And they're well on their way. Obviously, we got some people to re-up and extend. But the way that the NFL works, if you drafted them and they're your guys, you can fit a lot of them under your cap.
I know this is off topic, but I think they need to take another look at Shedeur Sanders, by the way, too.
You know, I'm glad you brought him up.
Yeah, man.
Let's hear some numbers here because, Shedeur, as a fifth-round pick, we heard it all today about how the NFL draft does not lie.
Shout out, Neil.
They get it right.
Oh,
but you
man.
and I are on the same page on this. This is one of the most egregious blackballing of a player with legitimate talent. I'll pull the race card because it's certainly about him being black.
Yeah.
It's certainly about him having his own money.
Mm-hmm.
His father before him who has even bigger money, and always kind of gave a middle finger to the NFL, to the sports establishment. Deion always did it his way, and Shedeur is trying to do the same, but he's not paid yet on an NFL level. He's not a guaranteed starter at the NFL level. And they tried to level this kid.
They did.
He fell to the fifth round behind jokes of QB prospects like Dylan Gabriel and your personal favorite Tyler Shug. Tyler, whatever the hell his name is.
You don't even know his name.
No,
That's
it's Shug. It's Shug.
Oh, Tyler Shook.
That's how you pronounce it, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Shug. It's not Show. It's
Oh,
Shug.
okay. Excuse me.
It's almost like Shook.
Yeah.
The way that they pronounce that.
Shook
But
ones.
I watch these guys. I love the combine. I watch the gauntlet for the receivers. Absolutely my favorite. It'll tell you so much about a guy, whether he's knocked off his line or not.
Yeah.
But then you watch all these different premier prospect receivers take different passes and different routes from all the great prospect quarterbacks.
Right.
And, yeah, there's different timing each time the next guy steps up. But Shook was all over the place. Dylan Gabriel, he's a little bit of a technician. And pun intended, I mean, is he 5'9"? Is he 5'8.5"?
Right.
So I just don't know what these teams were doing, what these owners and GMs were doing. We talked about it today on BDE. I think half of the teams just had them off their boards entirely.
Yeah.
They didn't want to deal with the Deion circus. But then the other half of the teams, like a New Orleans, they took the cue from these other teams that I believe, when you see how the Rams draft, people try and emulate them. Now they're trying to emulate the Lions. And when all of these premier teams, some of them needing quarterback help, passed on him round after round after round, it just became kind of a thing that everybody got caught up in. But today, we saw him. You got those numbers? They're around here somewhere. I could probably pull them up. I got them.
Okay.
Let's take a look at what Shedeur did. 14 of 23, 138 yards, 106.8 rating.
Whew.
Did take 2 sacks. We did also see him run about 100 yards from the left to the right.
Yeah.
He lost 2 yards on it, but it could have been a sack. Didn't force an interception. And then he did throw for 2 touchdowns on the ground today, rushing 4 for 19, 4.8 yards per carry.
Not bad.
I'm pretty sure that the memo on him said he was immobile.
Yep, absolutely it did. I'm not saying he's the most mobile guy in the world, but what I am saying, he is somebody absolutely capable of getting out of the pocket and making plays, and I think he put that on display tonight. Just some of the throws he was making, on the move, hitting his receivers right in the breadbasket. He looked impressive, and I gotta say, like, he looked like he was poised. He's not scared of, the pressure. And I would love to see more playing time for him. I don't know what the Browns are doing, carrying all these quarterbacks. You do wonder, like, even with him having this good showing, are they still going to minimize him in ways? Because this is a franchise that owner has come out and said, hey, we kind of didn't want you, to be honest with you.
More
we just
than
did
kinda.
it. Yeah, like, we really didn't want you. So I'm interested to see how this Shedeur story is going to play out. But I think the play on the field is going to do the talking for him. And if you paid attention, and I know it's preseason, don't get me wrong, but if he goes out here and he does it in another preseason game, I think he's proving that he has the right to start in this league. And they should, because if you're the Browns, what the fuck are you doing if you're not starting him?
Yeah. Just to settle everybody in the chat, if you're gonna throw some angst around, throw it at the Bears fans. Maurice Norris is the backup free safety. We actually touched on that again on BDE. Beyond that starting 4 or 5 guys, when you're talking about Amik, you're talking about Terrion, you're talking about DJ Reed, and then you're talking about the all-pro safety tandem of Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. Beyond that, the depth is quite questionable.
Yeah.
And Maurice Norris was locked in as that backup free safety. Kendall Fuller's a name that's still out there. I've been saying it for a while. This is a guy that can, I don't know how much free he can play, but he's a guy that can mix in at nickel and corner and has the experience to play some safety. A piece that they can move around. But I do think that the Lions at this point, having seen what Maurice Norris happened to him, losing Rakestraw, they're going to make a move this week for some sort of secondary relief.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised for sure, because once again, Maurice Norris, prayers up to him. He was a key backup for this team, and you just wonder what the plan is going forward. But one thing I do know about this Lions team is that they value versatility, and we did bring up Rocky Sin as maybe an option in-house, but I wouldn't be surprised if they went out and tried to find some secondary help before the preseason is over. I mean, guys are going to get cut throughout camp anyway.
Well, and if you look at what happened to this team on defense last year with all of the injuries, if you don't have the guys now, you're playing behind the 8 ball in week 2, week 4, week 13, trying to search through the barren wasteland of guys that are left over.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of quality names out there right now, and the Lions definitely need to go and get themselves some secondary help right now. Going back to the chat here.
Shout out.
They're mad because I pulled the race card. I'll pull the fucking race card all day long. If you think that a white quarterback with his skill and the fact that he went to 2 different programs and lifted them out of the fucking ashes,
right,
it wouldn't have happened to a white quarterback.
I'm telling you.
Maybe a white quarterback doesn't build his own draft room at his house, but we're talking about the son of Neon Dion, primetime fucking Sanders.
Exactly.
And the people that can't get that in the chat, there's an issue with you, all right? If you're trusting your ears and not your eyes, there's a problem. Honestly, he looked great tonight, and we're going to be hearing quarterback controversy in Cleveland for the next 3 weeks. I don't see anybody there not named Joe Flacco that should be on the depth chart ahead of him.
No, absolutely not. I mean, once again, Tyler Huntley, is that who you're trusting? I know the Browns ain't really playing for anything because that Deshaun Watson contract absolutely crippled them. And looking back, that's maybe one of the worst contracts of all time. Yeah. But what are you doing, man? I don't think you have much hope but to throw a Shedeur out there and just see what the hell you have, man, because this kid, he's talented enough. And once again, preseason, we get it, people. But if he continues to go out there and play like this, he could be, I hate to say, your future. So I think that he deserves every opportunity to go out there and prove himself, no matter what you feel about him, his background, who he's the son of. Like, he's earned the opportunity to go out there and try to compete for that starting job for a franchise that don't want him. Fucking crazy.
I know how a lot of people in the chat voted.
Oh, they did? Oh man, come on. We gonna see, man. I know this Shaw boy.
No, I'm just saying the fact that these people can't see the Shedeur situation for what it is.
Oh, I thought you was talking about Tesla.
It blows my mind. But
yeah.
I do want to shift over to the backup quarterback situation here again. I heard you this morning on the Sean Belizean show, and JB is not a fan of one Jameis Winston. The New York situation is very much like the Cleveland situation that we just talked about. Tyler Huntley was signed in the last week because both Dylan Gabriel and the other quarterback there, I'm forgetting who his name is, they were both out.
Yeah.
They weren't going to expose Joe Flacco to a preseason game, and so it was down to Shedeur. They signed Tyler Huntley. Over in New York, you've got a few guys. You've got Russ there.
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart is obviously a first-round pick. This isn't a guy that's not going to make that 53-man roster. There's no way that they risk exposing him to waivers to try and sneak him onto the practice squad. So now you're stuck with the idea of keeping three quarterbacks or exposing Jameis. Jameis, obviously a locker room guy, a guy that's thrown for 498 yards in a game, for 5 touchdowns in a game. Does he make mistakes? Yeah, he makes plenty of them. But this is a guy that has found a home in a lot of different teams. And I think I know your answer. But if you continue to see the same play out of Kyle Allen, the same play out of Hendon Hooker next week, and Jameis becomes available, are you making that call?
If he's on the market, I mean, you got to make the call. I do think that, if Kyle Allen's able to go out there next week and put another game together like tonight, then we may not need to, because I don't want to give up too much for a backup quarterback. And I understand, for somebody like that, it may not be that much. And assuming he doesn't get cut, you would have to trade capital for him. I don't want that to happen. And if he is to get cut, like I said, of course you make the call, but I think the Lions value what they have in-house. I can't really see them going out to get a Jameis Winston. Do me as a fan want to see Jameis Winston as maybe a backup for this team? I wouldn't mind it, because say what you want about him, he does have ability. Yeah. I don't think he's the worst option as a backup quarterback. Does he make mistakes? Absolutely. But he is somebody that can ingratiate himself into a locker room. We've seen him do that with multiple franchises now. He is somebody that, maybe with this Lions offense can look a little bit better, and under the direction of Dan Campbell and Johnny Morton. Hopefully you would never have to see him, but if you got into a situation where you had to see him, then I don't feel like it'd be the worst thing in the world for a game or two if Goff had to sit.
Yeah. IPE Club, I'm trying to find that message you just put in here. Winston is too loose with the ball, too many turnovers. We've said that.
Yeah, we know that comes with Jameis
and he's
Winston.
Totally right. But we've seen Hendon Hooker turn the ball over a lot.
Yeah.
Whether it's through the air and now today on the ground. Kyle Allen turned it over plenty last week, looked a lot better this week. This is a conversation that we all hope that we don't actually have to have during the season, because if Jared Goff goes down, this team's going to have a hell of a time getting into the playoffs. I do believe that the defense is good enough to hold serve.
Yeah.
And we have so many weapons on offense that you can dumb down this offense and still win games that you only score 20 points in. So that being said, I think that that IP Club's point becomes even more pronounced. Do you want an athlete like Hendon Hooker that can, turn a 3rd and 6 broken play into a first down with his feet, but might be turning the ball over, trying to get too many yards? We saw it last year when he got hurt, not sliding, lowering his shoulder instead. Jameis Winston, a guy that can get the ball downfield to J-Mo.
Absolutely.
A guy that can get the ball downfield to any one of these guys, but could also, while having 400 yards, have 4 touchdowns or 4 interceptions.
Right.
Whereas Kyle Allen, if he can clean things up and they can dial in a safe version of Johnny Morton's offense, again, you've got that defense that I feel is going to be able to hold serve this year. Maybe Kyle Allen is the guy that if you lose Jared Goff in Week 8, you can still sneak into the playoffs with.
I think so. And it all is going to depend on where the Lions are, knock on wood, if Jared Goff were to get hurt. It'll depend on what the record looks like, what situation you're in during the season. But I don't think this organization is in the position of throwing seasons away at this point, especially if you get off and you have a good lead in the NFC North and you're winning ball games. I think that they want to keep the season going, and that could be an option for you. And I would lean more towards experience because, yet again, I brought it up earlier in the show. Brad Holmes, when asked about why did you bring in a Teddy Bridgewater last year during a playoff run, somebody that was relatively on the couch, he said it was because they they looked at Hendon Hooker's experience level and they didn't want to stick him in those type of situations. They felt like he wasn't ready for those type of situations yet.
Doubt.
So, I mean, I think they do still have some confidence in Hendon Hooker, but at this point, I mean, it's got to be wavering. I mean, just based on his play, it's got to be wavering a little bit.
So I got one more question on Hooker before I want to touch on a name that both Doughboy Steve and Ornery, U of M dad, brought up here. Hendon Hooker, when he's moving, when he's running, he is an NFL player.
Yeah.
We saw that on display today. We saw that in the game that he had, the really good game in the preseason last year. Is there something that he can do for this team that allows him to make the team over Kyle Allen, like a Wildcat package, like a Lions tush push package? Is there anything like that? We've never seen it out of Brad and Ben.
Right.
But is there something that we could do with Hendon Hooker to utilize his athletic ability with Johnny Moe running the offense?
Maybe, but the Lions' track record indicates they don't really do stuff like that. So I would be actually surprised if they were to do that. I felt like if they were going to do that, then they would have done that last year, when he had a full training camp and a full preseason and you got a chance to see him up close and see what he can do. I think he just needs to throw the ball better to have to gain any confidence with Lions brass and with us as the fans. That's one part of his game we just have not really seen develop to this point. When he runs, he looks okay, but that's not a winning formula in the NFL if you can't throw downfield or you can't, keep your eyes downfield to try to make a play with your arm. I have questions about, his ability to throw the football, and that's really what I've been wanting to see from him to this point. And like I said, tonight he was able to lead a drive. He did make some decent throws, but consistently, when that pressure is on you, I don't want to see you get happy feet every single time. I need to see you be able to still make plays with your arm, and that is just something that he's lacked this year.
Yeah. I don't want to get crucified by the chat for this.
You might. They gonna crucify you anyway, Anson.
Most likely. My thing with what I saw today was Hendon Hooker never having any time. Now, again, I started the show off saying this, like Kyle Allen comes in and all of a sudden it looks like he's got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Maybe he just was a little quicker to make decisions. But whatever they were dialing up for Hendon, he never got a chance for it to really unfold. But I got to keep coming back to what you brought up. The body language after he was taken out, it seems like maybe it wasn't so much the offensive line as he was doing something wrong that got him pulled at that point.
Yeah, and I'm going to fact check to make sure because everybody said he turned over the ball twice. I only saw the fumble, on the drive where they almost scored. And I'm not putting that last fumble on him. Once again, that was the right guard.
You know what? I disagree because you watch him, see him come up, and he steps up, still holding the ball like this, and the guy hits the one.
Yeah.
When that guy comes up, you got to tuck and put the other one over it. He was stepping up to still be moving with the ball.
Yeah.
And after you've already fumbled once in that game, you got to see that.
Okay.
And so that was my issue with it. Yes. Did the end completely give up? The tackle completely gave up that block, and he was unabated to the quarterback. But Hendon saw him. He's not stepping back. It's not at the
he
the
stepped up in the pocket, which I like though.
Yeah, but he knew he was getting hit. You already dumped the ball on the ground once.
No, to your point, and I definitely received that because, you got to protect. If you're going to step up in the pocket, you have to have an extra emphasis on ball security because easily, once they collapse that pocket, they can come around the back, and there could be problems with that. So, no, I do receive that point, but overall, I still don't want to put that play on him solely because, he probably would have got a throw off if he was able to. It's
or
just that edge.
Yeah, if he could have gotten past him.
That edge got there so fast because your tackle just did not have anything for him. But the turnovers, once again, are something that plague Hendon Hooker, and that's not what you want to see, especially on a drive where you were getting down the field. You did convert a 4th down, and you almost got in the end zone. So, no, I do receive that point, but it's so tough, man, because you want to root for this kid, man. It's not like, we want to see Hendon Hooker fail. They invested a 3rd-round pick.
Not with a 3rd-round pick.
You want him to work out, but there are things that you clearly visibly see that he has not developed in yet, or maybe he's still college-like in a way. So,
and to a few of those points, Paul Thomas, I think Brad likes Hendon personally and was hoping he fit. It's starting to feel that way. Combat legs, maybe the wrong call was holding on to Hooker too long. They certainly want to develop him, and he certainly has not developed yet. I am L3. I don't know about that. Hooker struggle pre-snap and getting through his reads, and he did.
And that could be why he got pulled.
And that's why Kyle Allen got the 4-minute drill and not him. Nitty Gritty 313 dropping some truth in the super chat.
Yeah.
Shout out Nitty Gritty. How is it not about race when you draft guys like Johnny Football and Baker Mayfield, then they get out of pocket and it's called moxie?
Yeah.
But Sanders is considered a problem.
And listen, for the crowd that wants to personalize or internalize us saying that there's probably a race factor to this, listen, we're not trying to offend anybody, but we got to just call it like it is.
Yeah.
If this was a white quarterback that, had everything, let's say everything is the same. He's the son of an NFL legend that's kind of boisterous, that kind of goes out there and talks, but you see the ability in college, and he is one of those college quarterbacks that you talked about all year long. Like I said, no matter where you want to place him, Shedeur Sanders was in the conversation with a Cam Ward, with some of these other quarterbacks, the Jackson Darts of the world. He was in that conversation of being a first-round talent, and you can debate whether he was a first-round talent or not. But if this was a white quarterback, I just feel like he would not have fell all the way to the 5th round. Like, if you want to make your point and not draft him in the 1st round, I understand that.
He was a 3rd-round quarterback and nothing less.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, the ability said so. And once again, I understand you don't want to draft him in the 1st round, kind of make that point, take some of his money away. I get that factor. But once it gets down to 5th, that's a blackballing, ladies and gentlemen. Like, we got to just be real about it. And it's not like we haven't seen the NFL blackball players before.
I'm all about honest conversations. I am one of the first people to call out an illegally played race card. And let's be honest, in 2025, the race card is played fraudulently often.
Man, what?
But this is me having watched football my whole life, watching situations unfold between big-time prospects, and something stinks in the state of Cleveland. Period.
Yeah,
but we'll
absolutely.
move on from that.
Clown franchise.
We just hit an hour here, guys. You know what? Do me a favor. Smash the chat. We need 21 more to get us to 200.
Yes, sir.
Please smash the chat. If you guys want to get your last chats in, super chat, we'll make sure we bump you to the front of the line. 21 likes. Please get us there. We'll hang out here for a few more moments, see if you guys can't get us to that. But next week, let's talk about next week's game. I don't even know who the hell we're playing.
To be honest with you, I don't. But we can find out. I do have this here. Waiting for it. Wait for it. Miami Dolphins.
And that is, so the next 2 games are at Ford Field. Those are sold out.
Yeah.
Standing room only.
And we are going to be broadcasting live from Sean's house, man. Shout out Sean Beligian having us over. We are going to have barbecue and football, baby.
He told, I heard it on the radio, but I was driving. I didn't quite hear it. He said 10 racks of what?
The Rock ribs.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
And what else did he have?
Sausage fest. Pause. Like, he is a sausage connoisseur. Pause again. He's going to have at least 10 different sausages.
You got access to sweet potato pie or bean pie? Somebody in your family makes some?
I can make some calls, yes.
I will pay. No, I'm serious. I don't get to see bean pie often, but Sweet potato pie can happen. I know that can happen.
I don't know if they ready for that.
They will learn.
I know some people that make some mean sweet potato pie,
will
man.
learn, man. 7 Mile Anson.
Right. Shout out my boy 7 Mile Anson, man. But to be honest, I'm so ready for regular season football. Like, we love bringing these shows to you. Don't get me wrong, people. And of course, shout out to our great sponsors, Vin Johnson and Buddy's Pizza. I'm ready for regular season football, man. I'm sick of trying to find topics out of the preseason. And, of course, prayers to Maurice Norris once again. This was the biggest story to come out of this game. But going forward, man, I'm just ready for regular season football. Sausage
Master shout-out. That one is going to Sean Belesian from Xavier DT. Hey, we need 4 more likes, and then we'll get out of your hair, guys. Tomorrow, it will be you and me again.
It will.
Covering Tigers.
Oh.
Right?
Wait, I thought that was Sunday.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow's Saturday.
Yeah. Stop trying to make me work 6 days straight, bro. I'm tired of this place.
Tomorrow,
God damn.
Mr. Mazaway, Tom Maz, and I will be doing the Tigers live stream, and then that actually starts later tomorrow. I believe we start at 6:30 with the 6:40 first pitch, and then on Sunday it will be you and I.
Yeah,
doing the Tigers game again. So make sure that you're with us this whole weekend.
Hopefully this is the beginning of a streak as well, because the Tigers did get the dub tonight, 6-5.
They
man,
did.
Shout out, man. Matt Vierland with a huge three-run home run that changed this game. So shout out to him.
It's so weird, the male obsession that a couple of clowns in the chat get with me.
Oh, God.
Like, dude, just
it's
super chat $50 and I'll send you my OnlyFans link up for speculation.
Wait,
but make sure you call me daddy. Make sure you call me daddy, all right?
Oh, shit. Anyway, not the OF.
We just hit 2:03. We're going to get out of here, guys. We do have a fantasy football show kicking off this weekend, so make sure that you keep your eyes peeled for that. On behalf of KG, myself, I don't want to say goodbye quite yet.
I know, right?
I don't want to say goodbye
but I
quite
do.
yet.
I'm tired. I've been here all 4 shows.
Listen, we do appreciate you guys. Smash that like button before you get out of here. Tomorrow, make sure you join us for the Tigers live stream that kicks off at 6:30. You're going to get a chance to watch Tom Mazaway go crazy over baseball. And I promise you,
it is a treat.
Something you want to catch. Maybe I'll even bring him some edibles.
No, you should, because he's going to need them. You know he's going to be pitch to pitch, man. And shout out to Maz.
And shout out to you, my friend KG.
Hey, same here, man.
Number 2 in the books. We got a lot more Lions post games for you guys, but we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Smash that like button. We appreciate you for coming out, and make sure you say some prayers for the Norris family.
Yes, sir.
My name's Anson Wells for KG and the Detroit Lions Woodward post game show. We out.